everyone. Today I'm doing a quickie video on the 5 mistakes I've seen new fashion founders and brands make when pricing their products. So let's get into it. Number 1, not pricing high enough. So I like to give the advice to always make sure you have a minimum of a 60% gross profit margin on your cost of goods in order to leave enough room in your price for other expenses in your business. So that just means, for example, if you are buying a dress or you're having a dress made for $40, that's the final cost of the goods, and you want to make a 60% gross profit margin, you need to make sure you sell that dress for $100 minimum at retail. So that will give you the 60% gross profit margin. Then you have a little bit of room in your price to make money and incur other expenses in your business. Number 2, not fully understanding what goes into a cost of goods. So the cost of goods is really 3 components. Number 1, it's the product cost. So the final product cost, let's say you have a dress again. It's the cost of the dress, which is usually made up of the fabric, the make or the labor, and any trims on the dress. So that's the product cost. The second component is the inbound shipping cost. So unless you have your products made down the street and you can just go and pick them up, you're going to incur an inbound shipping cost from your manufacturing partner to you to have the products there and for you ready to sell. So any inbound shipping costs must be included in your cost of goods. Number 3, any duties or tariffs. So this is only going to apply to you if you import products. I'm in the US, so if I'm making my products in the US, this does not apply to me, but if you're making products outside of your country, it will apply to you. Number 3, not taking into account other business expenses and overhead. So it's not just your cost of goods that matters, it's other expenses in your business that all factor into your final net profit margin at the end of the year when you do your accounting. So even if you are just starting out and or you work from home and you don't have a lot of overhead, you're still going to most likely incur other costs in your business. You're going to have marketing costs, you're going to have your website fees, you're going to have software costs, sampling costs. And so you have to make sure that you factor all of these costs and your overhead into your final net profit margin of your business. So leaving room, like we talked about in number 1, with that gross profit margin and your cost of goods, leaving room in there and having a higher gross profit margin is going to help you with this at the end of the year when you figure out if you've made money or not. So just making sure you understand not just their cost of goods, but the other expenses and overhead that contribute to the overall net profit margin of your business. Number 4, not understanding duties and tariffs. So again, this will only apply to you if you have your goods made outside of the country, but you really, if you import products and you have your goods made overseas, you have to understand how duties and tariffs impact your business. So of course, right now there's so much in the news about duties and tariffs. Everything's changing by the day, but just understanding the harmonized tariff schedule, what percentage is charged on the type of products you make, and factoring those into your final cost of goods is going to be a really important factor. And again, I'm going to do another video doing a deep dive into duties and tariffs, but you have to understand how that impacts your cost of goods, and then that's going to impact your bottom line in your business. Number 5, retail versus wholesale pricing. So direct to consumer, which is retail, versus B2B, which is wholesale pricing in your business. And sometimes some brands will only do one or the other. So sometimes you only want to sell retail and you don't have to worry about wholesale, but a lot of times it's a mix in order to get different streams of revenue and more sales. You want to do both retail and wholesale pricing. You have to remember that when you do wholesale pricing, your margin, your gross profit margin is going to be a lot lower. So this needs to be factored into your overall your overall projection for the year. So really knowing or having an idea what percentage of your line you want to allocate to wholesale and what percentage you want to allocate to retail can really help you kind of do the math and figure out where you're going to be as far as making money for the year. So just kind of being able to project that retail versus wholesale is going to be really helpful to you in the accounting of your business. Okay. So again, this is a really new channel. I'm excited to take a deep dive into each of these topics in later videos, but I hope this helped and I'll see you soon. Bye.